Life's challenges are not meant to break you, but to reveal your strength. Every hardship you face, every setback that knocked the wind out of you, every disappointment that made you question your purpose was not placed in your path to destroy you. Those moments were designed to expose what you're truly capable of. Most people misunderstand struggle. They see it as punishment, as bad luck, as a sign that things aren't meant for them. But struggle is actually the world's greatest teacher. It is the gym where your character is built, where your resilience is formed, where your inner strength is awakened. Without challenges, you would never know how strong you truly are. Think back to a time in your life when you faced something you thought you couldn't handle. Maybe it was heartbreak. Maybe it was failure. Maybe it was financial pressure, betrayal, or a personal loss that felt unbearable. At the time, you believed it would break you. You believed you wouldn't survive it. You believed that moment would mark the end of your strength. But look at you, you're still here. You made it through. And not only did you survive, you grew. You learned something about yourself that you didn't know before. You discovered that you could carry more than you imagined. You learned how to adapt, how to heal, how to push forward even with wounds you didn't think would ever close. That is the purpose of challenges. They reveal the parts of you that comfort hides. Anybody can smile when life is easy. Anybody can stay motivated when things are going their way. Anybody can be strong when nothing is testing them. True strength comes out when your world is shaken, when everything feels uncertain, when your plans fall apart, and when you're forced to rebuild from the ground up. That's when your real power shows up. That's when your resilience becomes visible. That's when your character is shaped. Some people avoid challenges because they fear discomfort. They want success without inconvenience, growth without resistance, progress without pressure. But pressure is part of life. Diamonds are formed through pressure. Muscles grow through resistance, storm strength and roots. Everything powerful in nature is shaped by difficulty. So why would it be different for you? You cannot expect greatness while trying to avoid every form of struggle. Every challenge you face is refining you, polishing you, preparing you for the next level of your life. The truth is, life doesn't give you challenges because you're weak. It gives them to you because you're strong enough to handle them, even if you don't realize it yet. You might look at your circumstances and think you're being punished, but often you're being prepared. Prepared for bigger responsibilities, bigger opportunities, bigger blessings. People pray for strength, but strength doesn't appear out of nowhere. Strength is developed. Strength is a result of going through things that require courage, patience, and perseverance. Strength is built every time you face something that scares you and choose to move forward anyway. When you start to see challenges as growth opportunity instead of obstacles, your entire mindset shifts. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this teaching me? That question alone changes everything. It allows you to look at your situation with a clear mind instead of a defeated one. It helps you stay focused on solutions instead of problems. It helps you see your life as a journey of evolution instead of a series of punishments. Some of the strongest, most successful people you admire didn't become powerful because life was kind to them. They became powerful because they refused to let life break them. They used every setback as fuel. They allowed every obstacle to sharpen them. They embraced challenges instead of running from them. They recognized that the difference between people who rise and people who fall is not the presence of difficulty, it's the response to difficulty. Everyone faces storms. The difference lies in whether you allow the storm to drown you or teach you how to swim. The challenge you're facing right now might be heavy. It might be confusing. It might feel unfair. But inside that challenge is a version of you that is stronger, wiser, tougher, and more disciplined than the version of you before it. If you avoid the challenge, you avoid the growth. If you hide from the pain, you hide from the strength. If you run from the lesson, you run from the transformation that was meant for you. When you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you begin to see that every struggle has a purpose. Some challenges teach you discipline. Some teach you patience. Some teach you emotional strength. Some teach you who you can trust. Some teach you how to set boundaries. Some teach you to stop relying on others and start relying on yourself. Some teach you that you are capable of far more than you believed. Discipline beats talent when talent refuses to fight for consistency. You can be gifted. You can be naturally skilled. You can have all the potential in the world, but none of that matters if you cannot show up every single day. The world is full of talented people who never became great because they depended only on what they were born with. They believed that natural ability was enough. They believed that being gifted meant they didn't have to work as hard. But talent without discipline becomes wasted potential. It becomes a dream that never turns into reality. Discipline is what separates people who talk about success from people who actually achieve it. Discipline means doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like doing it. It means staying focused when distractions are everywhere. It means showing up on the days when you are tired, unmotivated, frustrated, or unsure. Talent gives you a head start, but discipline keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. Motivation will fade. There will be days when you don't feel inspired, days when life overwhelms you, days when the excitement disappears. Discipline is what carries you through those seasons. People often look at successful individuals and assume they got there because of natural ability. What they don't see are the countless hours of repetition, the sacrifices, the late nights, the early mornings, and the uncomfortable choices that were made consistently over years. Success isn't built on talent, it's built on commitment. It's built on waking up every day and deciding to give the best you have, even if your best looks different from yesterday. Discipline teaches you how to stay committed to your goals long enough for your effort to compound. Consistency is the secret ingredient. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be the most talented. You just have to be consistent. A person with average talent but extraordinary discipline will outperform a highly gifted person who only works when they feel inspired. Discipline creates habits, and habits create results. When you repeat actions long enough, they become part of who you are. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You rise to the level of your habits, and your habits are shaped by your discipline. There will always be someone more talented than you. Someone who has better resources, better connections, better opportunity, but they cannot outwork you unless you allow them to. Effort is the great equalizer. Discipline is the force that pushes you ahead. When others grow comfortable, many talented people fall behind because they become complacent, rely on their natural ability and lose the hunger that discipline creates. Meanwhile, the person who stays focused, who keeps improving, who refuses to quit, eventually surpasses them. Discipline is also a form of self-respect. You commit to something and stick to it, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. You build confidence by keeping promises to yourself. When you say you're going to improve and you follow through, your belief in yourself grows. You say you'll show up every day, and you actually do. You strengthen your identity as someone who follows through. Talent may impress people, but discipline impresses you. And that internal belief is far more powerful than external validation. One of the biggest differences between people who succeed and people who don't is their relationship with discomfort. Now, cycle people who avoid discomfort eventually plateau. They stay in the zone where things come easy and never push beyond their natural ability. Discipline forces you into uncomfortable territory. It pushes you to challenge your limitations, to step outside your comfort zone, to keep improving even when you're already good at something. Comfort kills growth. Discipline ignites it. Discipline also teaches you patience. Talent can make people impatient because they expect quick results. They are used to things coming natural. So when progress slows or obstacles appear, they lose interest. Discipline teaches you how to keep going even when results aren't immediate. It teaches you that greatness is a slow process, a product of thousands of small steps that eventually lead to major breakthroughs. People who understand discipline don't quit just because they don't see instant success. They trust the process. They trust the work. They trust themselves. When you choose discipline, you also choose sacrifice. You choose to give up certain habits, distractions, and comforts because you value your future more than your temporary desires. Discipline asks you to say no. No to procrastination, no to excuses, no to wasting time, no to behaviors that don't align with your goals. Every no you choose strengthens your future. Every sacrifice refines your character. Every disciplined choice builds momentum. Over time, discipline becomes a kind of freedom. It frees you from chaos. Every champion goes through a season of fighting alone. Embracing that season is often what separates those who rise from those who fall. People admire success. They admire strength. They admire greatness, but they rarely see the lonely battles that came first. They don't see the nights when the champion had to push through exhaustion with no one cheering for them. They don't see the moments of doubt, the questions that echo in the silence, the times they wanted to quit but didn't because something inside them refused to stay down. That lonely season is not a punishment. It's a necessary part of the journey, a phase where your character is tested and your resilience is forged. If you never learn how to stand alone, you will never learn how strong you truly are. There will be moments when you look around and realize that the people you expected to support you are not there. People you thought would stand by your side may walk away. Friends who promised to believe in you may fall silent. Family members may question your choices or doubt your path. But that doesn't mean your dream is wrong. It doesn't mean your goal isn't valuable. It simply means that your journey is yours. Sometimes you must travel it without applause. Loneliness in pursuit of purpose is not a sign to turn back. It is proof that you are stepping into a level most people never reach. When you're in that season of isolation, it's easy to think something is wrong with you. You might wonder why no one understands your passion or shares your urgency. You might feel like you're invisible, like you're grinding in the dark while everyone else is living comfortably. But the dark is where seeds grow. The dark is where roots take hold. The dark is where transformation happens. Champions are built in silence long before anyone recognizes their name. They learn how to push themselves, how to self-motivate, how to stay disciplined without external validation. This is where their strength becomes unshakable. During this lonely season, you start to hear your inner voice more clearly. You begin to understand what drives you, what scares you, and what you're willing to sacrifice for your dream. You realize that your biggest competitor is not the person beside you. It's the version of you that chooses comfort over growth. When you face yourself without distractions, cues, or comfort, you confront your weaknesses and develop the courage to rise above them. That is why every champion must go through this season. If someone else constantly carried you, pushed you, or motivated you, you would never develop the internal power needed to sustain long-term success. Isolation teaches you discipline. When no one is watching, you either rise to the standard you set for yourself or you fall to the level of your excuses. Champions choose to rise. They choose to show up even when there's no one there to witness it. They choose to put in the work even when results aren't immediate. They choose to move forward even when doubt whispers louder than confidence. It is in those moments, the ones no one sees, that greatness begins to take shape. When you train alone, study alone, practice alone, grind alone, you build a relationship with your purpose that no setback can break. You also learn who truly belongs in your life during this lonely season. When you grow, the crowd gets smaller. People who are comfortable with you staying at a certain level may disappear when you start to climb higher. Those who cannot match your mindset, your intensity, or your dedication may fall away. It hurts, but it's necessary. Not everyone is meant to walk with you to your next chapter. Some people are part of your journey only for a season. Champions understand this and choose to release, not resent. They focus on their purpose rather than their surroundings. When you fight alone long enough, you develop a level of mental strength that cannot be shaken by setbacks or opinions. You stop seeking validation. You stop needing approval. You stop relying on others to tell you whether you're capable. You learn to trust yourself. You learn to believe in your vision. You learn to carry yourself through challenges because you have practiced doing it over and over again. This self-reliance doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you unbreakable. Eventually, the lonely season transforms you